The two Tachitas hit each other. The two go side by side towards the chicane. It's Paul. Andre Lotterer pulls it out of the bag.
It's crazy what adrenaline does to your brain. Like, it slows down time so much. It felt like forever.
So first of all, how did you find it coming into the championship? Was it as you expected or was it surprising?
I was a huge surprise joining Formula E. I went to Hong Kong and it was definitely a shock, like to get confident, and you don't want to crash because you lose track time. So you build it up, and of course you're in the back at the beginning and you don't feel very proud. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm ever gonna get there? And but then bit by bit, it was fine. You know, we had Hong Kong, and after the second race was maybe Marrakesh, yeah. And then Santiago, boom, it clicked. I was in front, I had the opportunity to maybe win already in my second weekend or third weekend. Yeah, that was a big breakthrough moment for me in Formula E to get confident, because it's quite a lot in the driver's head. To be confident is quite a valuable asset. You kind of need that because you have a whole team behind you and you don't want to let anyone down. Yeah, that was a breakthrough moment, apart from the moment with Jeff in the race where I tried to overtake him and that didn't work out.
Oh, he's hit him! The two Tachitas hit each other!
What was going through your head at the time?
The move I tried was like I committed to stay flat out instead of lifting. He lifted, but he anticipated the move, and I had that much overspeed from staying flat out, and he stayed there on the inside line, and there was no chance of going back. I just hit the brakes, and there was too much speed differential, and I tried to hit him as straight as possible, obviously being like full on the brakes. Then he braked, and then in that moment, it's crazy what adrenaline does to your brain. Like, it slows down time so much. It felt like forever. And then I just remember his car here. We were like locking up, and then you think about everything like, no, I'm throwing this away. And then suddenly he comes off the brake in the last second, and then we both just managed to make the corner. And then, relief, and then you're immediately back into the race. That was a serious moment. I think the most hairy moment of my career, basically.
Obviously, it worked out in the end. You got the first 1-2 in Formula E, and your first podium as well.
Yes.
What did that do for your understanding of the championship and your own confidence as well?
Yeah, it did a lot. Like I said, confidence was something that was lacking at the beginning of Formula E, just simply by nature of facts that when you're new in the championship and everyone is up to speed and understanding something that's completely different. So that really gave me a boost of confidence that if I put things together, I can do it, and I was in a good team.
Let's jump to the next season, season 5, Hong Kong. Now, on paper, this isn't exactly what we would define a best moment, but I think you'd agree that it was an influential one. You're leading the race, you've got great pace, and towards the end, you find yourself battling with Sam Bird, which doesn't go to plan. Talk us through the race and that moment.
I started at the front and fought my way through, and so I'm leading the race, and Sam and me, we're breaking away from the pack. We had definitely more pace than the rest, and turn 2 was a bit tricky because it had rained a little bit before and it was not fully dry. And so when you're leading the race, it's a bit of a different story when you're second. Like, you have to take a little extra margin because you don't want to miss the apex, because otherwise the guy passes the next one. That's what actually happened to him a few laps before. That's how I passed Sam. I knew he was behind me, but I was pretty confident that he wouldn't be able to pass in turn 2. And again, like, I had to brake a bit before because it was a bit wet, and then he just went for it, and it didn't work out. And it was too much of an aggressive move. I mean, I think thing is, I survived the corner in a way. Like, I made it. Like, he came into a collision, but the unlucky part was that he hit my tire, and then that created puncture. If he didn't hit the tire, I still would have come out in front and win the race.
Oh, and Lotterer's got damage.
Flat tyre.
Lotterer's got a puncture.
And even though he had the penalty, it won't give me the win back. So it was a very disappointing and frustrating moment because, you know, you work so hard, you give everything, countless hours in the simulator, and it didn't work out. Many people told me I'm the winner of their hearts, but I didn't win the points.
Even though it didn't end in the way that you wanted it to, at least within that new machinery, within the Gen 2, first season of Gen 2, it gave you the confidence that wins were maybe on the table and you had the pace at least.
It showed that we had a quick car and races afterwards as well. But personally, yes, definitely it gave an extra boost of confidence that I can do the job in the Formula E and that I'm with the guys at the front.
So then moving forward a little bit to still season 5, Rome. And there's a few elements of this day that I want to get your perspective on that are, that I think are really interesting. First of all was qualifying.
Looking at the videos afterwards, it was entertaining because it looked like I messed up the hairpin.
Oh, he's thrown it away! Lotterer has thrown it away!
People were celebrating already because I think that would have meant, that Mitch would have got pole position.
I would not be celebrating at this point.
And then I nailed the last sector and we got pole position. So that was quite a fun qualifying to watch afterwards, and in the car was fun as well, except the hairpin where it was still a tiny bit wet, and I lost the rear of the car, but somehow managed to stop it and minimize my time loss.
The battle obviously with Mitch Evans was in qualifying, but then it followed into the race as well. And surely one of your greatest battles in Formula E, would you say?
Yeah, it was a tough one. Mitch was really strong that day, and he was on attack mode, and it was definitely a nice battle. Not ideal, of course, when someone passes you and you're fighting for a win, but it was what it was, and we had to be happy with second place.
So season 6, Diriyah, you've moved teams at this point, gone from DS Cheetah to Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team, and you get a podium in your first race and with the team in their debut season as well. Was there a point in that race day where you thought this could be on here, like throughout practice, qualifying, or was it only in the race that it kind of unfolded that way and you realized you could push for a podium? To
have finished second, it was very emotional for me because it gave me a nice answer on also my choice that I'm in a good team, that we can do something here in Formula E. One of my greatest achievements, considering that you just entered a championship with a complete new team and with much less experience than anyone else. I think that was a pretty good bang.
You'd achieved the season targets for the team in the first race.
But that's the team. That was the team's target as they were new in the championship, which is understandable. But me, it's my third season. I want more. I'm like I came this close to win in Hong Kong. I finished a few times second on the podium. So I'm there to win.
Moving on to the end of season 6, Berlin, so you're just shy of another podium after a great battle from a fan's point of view, an amazing battle to watch with René Rast.
Yeah, that was really what Formula E is about. A lot of things happen in the last lap because we all basically end up with the same energy. We cross the line with 0, so the last lap is where we all meet up again, and René had just a little bit more, and then he put the nose in. It was quite aggressive. I think if I would have turned in, he would have spun me around, and maybe also him get a penalty, me be in the wall. A clean overtake, you should be more inside, and he was just almost spun me around. So yeah, I had to make the best out of the situation, and unfortunately that was meaning also that I would lose the position.
I had no chance, he just threw the car in and pushed me off.
It's annoying, but that's how it is in Formula E. I think I gained a few places during that race anyhow, and then I think that was not bad.